Hey, it's Rob with Inyo Pools. I just tested my pool water and I have 0 chlorine. I have a saltwater system, so I wanted to go over kind of the 4 most common reasons why your salt system wouldn't be generating chlorine. That can include low flow, low or high salt level. It could be an issue with the salt cell, or it could be an issue with the stabilizer level. But let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is walk over to your control panel and look for any kind of indicators that would tell you what the issue would be. If you see something that says no flow or low flow, there's a few things you can check. I always start by looking at the pump to make sure it's fully primed. You shouldn't see a big air pocket at the top. It should be totally full of water. That looks good. Then I look at the pressure gauge on the filter and make sure that's in a good range. If the PSI is too high, I go ahead and clean the filter. If you don't have a pressure gauge or you don't think it's working, what you could do is take the cartridge out of the cartridge filter and then put the lid back on and run it without the cartridge and see if the no flow indicator goes away. Or if you have a sand or DE filter, go ahead and put it on bypass and run the filter, and if it improves, then that solves your problem. Alright, the next most common cause would be a low or high salt level. If you see that indicator on your control panel, what I would suggest is getting confirmation by using salt test strips, something like this. We have a video actually that we can link to show you how to test it. So I went ahead and did that, and I'm at 2200 parts per million. So in order to get it up to, let's say, 3200 parts per million, I need to add 80 pounds of salt. And we have some easy to use calculators that we can also link to. But assuming that the salt is good on your system, let's move on to the next case. Alright, next, if you notice something that says inspect cell, that means it's not getting a good reading from the salt cell. So what I typically recommend doing is you turn off the system, you loosen these nuts, and you can pull the salt cell out to inspect it. And I've already got an extra one here, but what it should look like is this. When you see a bunch of white calcium buildup on the cell blades, you need to clean it. And by cleaning it, you don't want to poke anything in here and loosen up the calcium buildup. What you want to do is soak it in an acid and water mixture, and again, we'll link to a video that shows you how to clean the salt cell. Once you clean it and put it back in, if you're still having an issue where it says inspect cell, it might be time to replace the salt cell. They typically last anywhere from 3 to 5 years. They'll last longer if you oversize the system. But again, it may be time to replace it if you go through all that and you're still having issues. Alright, the final most common thing we see is an issue with the stabilizer level. And that has nothing to do with the salt system. The salt system could be working fine, but if your stabilizer level is too low, you're not going to hold chlorine. The problems aren't usually a high stabilizer level, because with a salt pool, you're not constantly adding stabilizer to the water like you would if you're using chlorine tablets. So the issue is low stabilizer level, and what the stabilizer does is it protects the chlorine from getting eaten up by the sun. So what you want to do is make sure you keep the stabilizer level between 30 and 60 parts per million. So I'd recommend getting one of these test kits. We actually have a video on how to use that test kit and adjust the stabilizer level. But if you have any questions on salt systems or anything pool or spa related, visit us over at inyopools.com. Thanks for watching.